everybody, I'm Danielle. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. I'm going to be taking us through a vinyasa yoga flow today. It might be handy to have a block, a blanket or a small book to use as a little prop, but not essential. So let's get started. Making your way onto your mat. We'll begin in child's pose. Let the big toes come to touch together. Let there be some space between the knees and softly start to fold your way forward, allowing the forehead to melt towards the mat. You might even place your block underneath the forehead. Just allowing yourself to begin to settle in. Let the elbows and the forearms rest. And finding a full breath in through the nose. And breathe it out through the nose. Finding one more here, allowing yourself to start to settle into this moment. And softly with your hands now, reaching the arms out in front of you, pressing down through the palms. Start to draw your weight forward, keeping your face close to the mat. Elbows come wide. Press into your palms, your chin comes towards your thumbs, round your back, and start to send your bottom back towards the heels. Breathing in through the nose as we draw our weight forward, belly is soft. Big press into the palms, chin to chest, pull the weight back, bottom to heels. Let's take one more here, breathing in, sliding forward. And exhaling, sending the bottom all the way back towards the heels. Very nice, everyone. With your hands, start to pick them up and walk them round towards the top right corner of your mat. Allowing your chest to be heavy and your forehead to melt back down towards the mat. There's a little more space. You might choose to stack your left hand on top of the right, interlacing the fingers. Feel the stretch down the side body. And softly shuffling your hands over to the left side. Drawing your sit bone back towards the heel as we breathe into the right side. Let your hands walk towards the front of the mat. Let's start to gather ourselves up, coming to find a tabletop position. And just softly start to move a little freely here now, intuitively. Maybe for you that's a cat-cow, or just exploring some circles through the hips. There is no right or wrong way here. Just looking for areas of tightness or tension. Feels good in the body. And softly we'll start to make our way back to that tabletop position. Tuck your toes beneath you. Start to ease the sit bones up and back. Come into our first downward facing dog. As you arrive, we'll pedal softly through the heels. Hands as wide as your shoulders. Feet as wide as your hips. Spread your fingers. Keep that movement coming and start to walk your way towards your hands. Let the feet settle down underneath the hips. Let your belly soften over your thighs, hips high, head is heavy. Our forward fold. Start to roll yourself up to standing, tucking that tailbone beneath you. Heavy head, heavy arms as we start to rise ourselves all the way up. As we lift, find a cactus shape with the arms. Take a big breath and lift your chest. Circle the arms wide, swan dive the chest forward, come all the way back down into that forward fold. Hands pressed together this time as we breathe in, reaching, rolling up to standing, lifting our arms above the head this time. Take a stretch up. Find that cactus shape with the elbows, a little softness in the knees as we continue to fold forward. Interlace your hands behind the lower back. Belly softens down towards the thighs, release the head, release the neck, and maybe the arms start to lift up and over. It's so okay to have a micro bend with the arms here. And if it feels too much for the shoulders, release the hands down. If it feels good, start to add a gentle sway. And softly release the hands down towards the back, let the fingertips come to the floor. Slide the hands up onto the shins as you create a flat back parallel. Take a big breath in, flat back. Exhale, softening all the way down. Hands come down to the floor. Step the right foot and the left foot back. Let's find a plank. Softening the knees, untucking the toes, lowering chin, chest and belly all the way to the floor. Slide the hands to the top corners of the mat. As you press into the palms, start to peel the chin and chest off the floor. Variation of cobra. Slowly roll the chin and chest back down. Let's take one more like that, shall we? Big breath in, lifting yourself up. Looking forward and slowly rippling forward and down. Returning the hands under the shoulders. Press the floor away, come through tabletop. Lift your sit bones up and back, find your downward facing dog. Shift your gaze between the hands, perhaps one big step this time, or a little hop. Land your feet inside of the hands. Keep the right foot where it is. Let's start to step the left foot to the back of the mat only. Soften your left knee to the floor, keep the toes tucked. Rise the arms up alongside the ear, finding that low lunge position. Just settle here. Knee stacks over the ankle, rib cage drawing in. Release the fingertips down towards the floor. Start to ease your hips back, lifting the toes towards you. Blocks can be handy beneath the hands if the hamstrings are tight. Reach the arms back up to the sky. Big breath in, sink a little deeper into the hips. Exhale, hands down, hips back. Last one now, pull the weight into the sole of the right foot. Option as you reach the arms up alongside the ears. This time to use no hands if you'd like to. Ease the hips back. Reach back with your fingertips. Hold, half monkey pose. And then slowly bend it into that right knee. Let your fingertips come to frame just for a moment. Press into the right foot. Let's rise up. Find that cactus shape with our arms. Start to release the hands behind the lower back. Interlace the fingers together. Now just wiggle that right foot a little wider. Make sure your knee's over your ankle. Squeeze your inner thighs and we start to lift up so we have high lunge legs. Really nice, everyone. Open the chest, take a big breath in. As you exhale, start to fold forward and down to the top left corner of your mat, humble warrior. You might feel that left heel drops down towards the mat. Shift your gaze to the left ankle. Lift the arms, breathe in. And slowly start to rise that chest back up. Let your fingertips drop down to frame that front foot. Lift your back heel off the floor and begin to peel that right arm up to the sky, coming to find our easy twist. Lift the gaze, press back through the heel, and softly hand comes down to the mat. And we're going to heel toe that right foot nice and wide, hands under the shoulders. Big bend into the left knee, and we step that left foot to the outside edge of the hand. Heels turn in, toes turn out. Bending through both knees, coming down into our yogi squats. Heels might be lifted here. This will be different for all of us. So just finding a shape that feels good in your body. And let's start to press the floor away with the feet as we rise the arms up, taking a breath in. Exhale, coming all the way back down. 2 more, rising up. Notice all the clicks and the cricks in the knees, the ankles. 1 more, rise up. Well done, everyone. Slowly come all the way back down, fingertips to the floor. Turn the toes to face the front of the mat. Big breath in, hands on shins, create that flat back. Exhale, softening forward and down. Fingertips to the floor, keep your left foot where it is. Take a big step of the right foot to the back of the mat. Soften the knee down, keep the toes tucked. Rise the arms up alongside the ears. We're here in our low lunge. Just feeling in for a moment or 2. And breathing. Really lovely, guys. Finding 1 more breath here in that low lunge position. Before softening the fingertips down, let's frame that front foot. Easing the hips back as we lengthen the left leg, toes to face. Rebending into the right knee. Breathing in, arms up. Taking 2 more in your own time. And maybe for that third and final posture, you choose to use no hands, or perhaps 1 hand. Float the hips back, reach back with the fingertips, pause wherever you are. And then let's rebend into that front knee. Let the hands come down just for a moment to frame that front foot. Lift your belly off your thigh. Find that cactus shape with the arms. Interlace the fingers behind the lower back. and start to press the knuckles down behind you. Feel steady on the feet, wiggle that left foot a little wider, squeeze your inner thighs, come on up. Open the chest, invitation to drop the heel if you'd like to. Let's start to melt forward to the top right corner of the mat. Coming into our humble warrior. Working one day to bring the shoulder inside of the knee. Always the option to release the hands and breathe. Slowly lift your chest halfway. Let your fingertips come down to frame the front leg, lift your back heel. Plant the right hand onto the floor. Take that big reach of the left arm up to the sky. Hold in here. And then softly bring your hand inside of that front foot. Ground your right heel back down. Start to walk your hands down the long edge of the mat and let the left toes turn to face the same way as the right. So wide-legged forward fold now. Let yourself soften into the shape. Release the head. And then just relaxing passively into our forward fold. Shift a little weight into the balls of the feet. And begin to see how it feels to walk the hand towards the hands, towards the left foot. Maybe hugging that calf, that ankle in close to you, forehead towards the knee. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly transitioning towards the back of your mat, finding your right foot, reaching towards, hugging, holding. And then softly we return the hands back under the face. Just turn the toes out to the top corners of your mat, 10 and 2 o'clock feet. Start to bend both knees. Lift your hands up to your heart, coming into our goddess pose. Yeah, let the knees point the same way as the toes. Maybe open the arms, let's find that cactus shape again. Take a big breath in. Exhale, hands come down to thighs and we begin to shift the weight side to side. Allow the hips to become heavy. You might even find your forearms. Amazing, everyone. And then softly as we find stillness, we'll straighten through the legs, bring the hands to the heart. Turn the back toes in slightly, front toes to the front of the mat, reaching all the way down, frame your front foot. And step both feet to the top of your mat, coming back here into our forward fold. Start to press your palms together, rise yourself back up to a standing position. Bringing our hands to our heart space. Okay, let's come to find a balance. Bringing the weight into the left foot. Start to draw that right knee towards the chest and place your right ankle just above your left knee. Bend your supporting leg and start to sink your bottom back. Keep the right foot flexed here. Okay, fix your gaze on something that's not moving. Stand in pigeon pose. If there's a little more space, you might allow the chest to come forward, perhaps reach the arms wide. Just an option. Slowly draw your hands back in. Well done, everyone. Gather yourself back up, bringing your feet to the floor. Let's switch sides. Weight comes into the right foot now. Bringing the left ankle just above the knee. Softly bending through that supporting leg, sticking your bottom back. Okay, taking it wherever feels good for you today. And softly drawing the hands back towards the chest, gathering yourself up, coming into that standing position. Really nice, everyone. Let's take the feet a little wider. Toes out, heels in, bending through both knees, coming back down into that yogi squat. Release the hands down behind the lower back and just come to sit down softly on your bottom. We will finish with our cow face pose with a variation now. So starting to bring your right knee in towards your chest and just slide that leg beneath you. You can almost catch your ankle with your left hand. So as we slide, the heel rests to the outside edge of your hip. And I like to shift my weight forward, come onto the fingertips and slide the left knee on top of the right. You got it. Bottom comes down towards the mat. If this feels just too intense for the knees, You can, of course, have a long underneath leg, keeping the knees stacked. Okay. Fingertips come behind you. You press into the fingertips, lengthen the spine, breath in. And today we just take the legs as you tilt forward. Fingertips come down. And maybe you start to fold a little deeper over the legs. Yeah, it can be quite nice to even use your block here or a pillow. And staying with that breath. Softening the face. As we rise back up, bring the block to one side, let's switch sides. Mindfully untangling your legs. Bringing the left knee beneath you, either the leg extended or the heel to the outside edge of the hip. Shift your weight forward. Stack the right knee on top of the left. Bottom comes down. Okay, you could always sit on a block here too if that feels better for you. Fingertips behind, find that press, that length in the spine. Fold forward. If there's more space, maybe a block. Or maybe fingertips to the floor. And softly start to pad your way back up. Mindfully untangling your legs, bringing the feet onto the mat. And let's come to lie on our backs, bringing the hands down behind you. Softly working your way down onto your mat, letting the head rest and the shoulders take a moment rest on the floor. Draw the right knee into the chest, interlace the fingers, take hold below the right knee. And if there's space, you can choose to extend out the leg here. Start to draw the knee down towards the armpit, keep the elbows close to the body. Create that compression in your hip, your belly. As we find softness, keeping hold of the knee with the left hand, start to travel across the body towards the left side of your mat, finding your spinal twist. Okay. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Allowing yourself to unravel through center. Let your left knee come in to join the right. Interlace your fingers. Kick out through the right heel. Begin to squeeze the knee down towards the armpit. Amazing. One more here. And then we release the left hand. Right hand guides the knee across the body. Settle. No pressure to have the knee down. Let it be soft. And softly we roll all the way onto our backs, extending our legs out fully, allowing the arms to rest alongside our body, coming into our Shavasana, our resting pose. Have time, please stay here a little longer, enjoying that stillness in your body. When you feel ready to, start to make your way back up, rolling onto one side, crossing your legs, flicker open in the eyes. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today.